Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 3 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 3 math, and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter estimation and rounding. But the lessons we're going to cover today are rounding nearest 10 or 100 only, rounding, rounding money amount, and rounding puzzles. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Okay, here I'm on grade 3 math. Chapter we are on right now is estimation in rounding. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is rounding nearest 10 or 100 only. Let's just start with the first lesson. What is 399 rounded to nearest 10? The first, read the question carefully and see round. For example, in the question you are given nearest 10. So that means you need to round the 10th digit, right? So in 399, this 9 is the digit that is at the tens position. You have to see the digit on the right of the tens digit. So on the right of the tens digit, you have 9. When you compare this 9 to 5, that is greater than 5. So when that is greater than 9, that means you need to round up. Round up means you need to add 1 to the tens digit, right? The tens digit is 9. 9 plus 1 makes 10, right? That means 9 is rounded off to 400. So it will be rounded off to 400. Got it? So 399 is rounded to 400. Okay, let's just start with the test question. So the important thing is to see which digit you have to round off. Now look at the example. What is 717 rounded to nearest 100? That means you need to round the hundreds digit. That is the digit at the ones, this tens, and this is the digit that is at the hundreds position. You have to see on the right of this hundred digit. Right of the 100, we have 7. Compare this 1 to 5. 1 is less than 5. So that means you need to round on the same 100. Write the 100 digit as it is and replace the other two digits with 0. So it would be rounded to 700. 717 is rounded to 700. Got it? So option number 2 is the correct option. It would be rounded to 700. What is 27? What is 27 rounded to the nearest 10? Okay, 27. Two is the digit that is at the tens position. Right next to 2, on the right hand side, you have 7. 7 is greater than 5, where that means you need to round up. Replace the tens digit with 0. Replace the, you have to add 1 to the tens digit and replace the ones digit with 0. So 27 is rounded off to 30. So 27 is rounded to 30. Option number 2 is the correct option. Is 463 rounded to nearest 100. So 463. The hundredth digit is 4. On the right hand side of the 4, we have 6. 6 is greater than 5. That means you need to round up, add 1 to 100 digit and replace the other two digits with 0. So it would be rounded off to 500. 463 is rounded off to 500. Option number 2 is the correct option. 463 is rounded to 500. Is 67 rounded to the nearest 10? So which is the correct option? 67 is rounded up to 70. Option number 2 is the correct option. Is 680 rounded to the nearest 100? So which is the correct option? Six hundred and eighty is rounded to 700. Very good. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is 594 rounded to nearest 100? $594 is rounded to 600. Option number one is the correct option. So, hope you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is rounding. Let's just start with the next lesson. What is 328 rounded to the nearest 100? Three hundred 28 is rounded to 300. Let's just start with the test questions. What is 12 rounded to nearest 10? Twelve is rounded to. No one is answering the questions. Why? 12 is rounded to 10. Option number 3 is the correct option. Is 830 rounded to nearest 100? $830 is rounded to 830 is rounded to 800. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is 47 rounded to nearest 10? So, which is the correct option? Seven is rounded to 50. Option number 3 is the correct option. Very good. What is 393 rounded to nearest hundred? So which is the correct option? 393 is rounded to 400. Option number one is the correct option. Why 250? Let me explain again how do we round off. You need to round off 393 to the nearest hundred. So the hundred digit is 3. You have to see the digit on the right hand side of the hundred digit, that is 9. 9 is greater than 5. So you need to round up. Round up means you need to add 1 to the hundred digit. 3 plus 1 is 4. And replace the other two digits with 0. So 393 is rounded off to 400. Can you explain how it is rounded to 250? Option number one is the correct option to be rounded off to 400. What is 602 rounded to the nearest 10? 672 is rounded off to tens digit. No, that's not 700. We need to round to the nearest 10. So you have to round the tens digit. 7 is the digit that is at the tens position. On the right hand side of the 7, you have 2. 2 is less than 5. So you need to round on the same 10. It would be rounded to 670. Read the question or listen the question carefully. You need to round to nearest 10. Option number 2 is the correct option, that is 670. What is 856 rounded to the nearest hundred? 856 is rounded to 856 is rounded to 900. Option number one is the we have to round hundreds digit. So 8 is at the hundreds position, right? So the right next to 8, you have 5. 5 is equal to 5. So you need to round up. It would be now rounded to 900. Okay, number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So let's just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is rounding money amounts. What is 3.77 rounded to nearest dollar? Nearest dollar. That means you need to round to whole number. 3 is the whole number. And on the right hand side of the 3, we have 7. 7 is greater than 5. So you need to round up. Round up means you need to add 1 to the 100 digit. So it would be rounded to 4.00. Let's just start with the test questions. What is 3.11 rounded to nearest dollar? $3.11 means you need to round to the whole number. So 3 is the whole number. And right next to 3, we have 1. 1 is less than 5. So you need to round on the same whole number. So and replace the other digits with 0. So it would be rounded to 3. The correct option is 3. What is 3.30 rounded to nearest dollar? So which is the correct option? $30 is rounded to 3. Option number 3 is the correct option. Very good. What is 3.83 rounded to nearest dollar? So which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? 3.83 is rounded up to 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is 1.01 rounded to nearest dollar? $1.01 is rounded to 1. Option number 2 is the correct option. What is 5.07 rounded to the nearest dollar? So which is the correct option? 5.07 is rounded to 5, not 7. Not 7. How? 5.07. You need to round up to nearest dollar. So right after the In decimal point, we have 0. 0 is less than 5, so you need to round on the same decimal. That would be rounded to 5. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next one is rounding puzzles. The digits in a certain number are 6 and 2. To the nearest 10, the number rounds to 30. What number is it? Let's just start with the test questions. The digits in a certain number are 2 and 1. To the nearest 10, the number rounds to 10. What number is it? So we have digits 1 and 2, right? You can make two digits with these numbers, 21 and 12. Which number rounds to 10, 21 or 10? It would be rounded to 12. Option number, like 12 is the number that can be rounded to 10. So option number 2 is the correct option. The digit in a certain number are 6 and 2. To the nearest 10, the number rounds to 30. What number is it? Which is the correct option? The digits in a certain number are 2 and 6. The to the nearest 10, the number rounds to 30. So 2 and 6, you can make two digits. Either it is 26 or 62. So which digit rounds to 30, which is the correct option? That is 26 because 26 is rounded to 30. The digits in a certain number are 7 and 8 to the nearest 10. The number rounds to 90. What number is it? Eighty-seven it is because 87 is rounded to 90. So option number 1 is the correct option. A number has digits 8 and 2. To the nearest 10, the number rounds to 30. So which is the correct option? So 80, that is 28. Option number 2 is the correct option, that it is 28. Number has digits 5 and 2. To the nearest 10, the number rounds to 30. Five and 2, it rounds to 25, right? Because it would be rounded up to 30, so the number they makes is 25. A number has digits 3 and 4. To the nearest 10, the number rounds to 40. What is the number? 3 and 4. The number that rounds to 40 is 32. Option number 43. That is 43. Option number 3 is the correct option. The digits in a certain number are 9 and 8. To the nearest 10, the number rounds to 90. What is the number? 89, it is option number one is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself maybe today. So we were working on grade 3 math. The chapter we were working on is rounding. Estimation and rounding. The lessons we have covered today are rounding nearest 10 or 100 only, rounding, rounding money amounts and rounding puzzles. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So you can please ask questions if you have any. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So any questions you can please ask. Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.